Yes, hello everyone. So, in the last session, we have completed two chapters of Unit 1, and I have given the assignments also. Just complete it and submit it to me. And we'll move on to the next chapter. According to your syllabus, the third chapter is Plant Kingdom, right? But due to this corona, 30% syllabus has reduced. That in that 30% syllabus, the third chapter Plant Kingdom has deleted. So we'll move on to the next chapter, that is Animal Kingdom. Or Kingdom Animalia. You can write that also. You can follow this title also. So we'll start with the Kingdom Animalia. As you know, in the second chapter, we studied the characteristic features of animals. The main characteristic feature of animal is these are heterotrophic and they do not have any cell wall, and they are pure. The maximum of them are locomotory animals, and the most of the animals they are found, they are available in all around the world. So with this, and also they have the special organization like digestive system and neuromotor system, sensory organs. So maximum of the animals, they do have these kind of systems. And as in the second chapter, we also studied the Kingdom Animalia. It consists of multicellular organisms or multicellular animals. Starting with that point, I want to start this chapter. The all of the animals which is coming in this Kingdom Animalia, all these are multicellular. Okay, so if you look around your environment, you find number of animals, and the small animals, and flying birds, and water animals, and the terrestrial animals, domestic, wild. Number of animals are there. How we are going to classify them? Already it has been classified, already we know. So these are the organisms which do not have red blood corpuscles, these are the organisms which do not have vertebral column. So like this we have already it has been classified, it has been grouped in special categories. How they did this? So in this chapter, right from the basic concepts, we are going to learn all the categories. Based on that, Animal Kingdom Animalia has been classified. So what are those basic concepts? So I'll write in some time. So before that, the animals, right from the sponges, marine animals, freshwater organisms, and then organisms or the animals which has been fixed to any substratum, there it is going to complete its life cycle. So many different type of organisms are there, right? If you see, if you look at we don't go to the oceans, or don't go and search for the animals underwater. But what is the better method to do? What is the better method to follow? We can observe, we can see the National Geographic channels, right? There in that channel, they used to show number of different type of animals. So if we look at those type of animals, what we can conclude, or what we can what comes in our mind? Yes, animals are different varieties of animals are there, different species are there. So these species has been classified in a better method, in a better categories. So what is that category? What is that concept? So I'll keep on writing those concepts. So don't neglect this chapter or don't neglect these concepts, because 2-mark question or 3-mark question, they'll ask you to write about those. I'll write, you'll come to know. Level of organization. Level of organization. What I am writing here? I am writing the concepts based on the animals has been classified. Okay, so what is level of organization? So the first one is what I have written here, this one. The second one, I'll write the symmetry. Okay, the third concept is diploblastic and plastic. This is DI. Okay, diploblastic and triploblastic organization. Body cavity. The next concept is body cavity. We usually call the body cavity in the name of coelom. And the fifth one is, after the coelom, segmentation, notochord. So, what I told you, these are the small concepts, these are the basic concepts. Based on that, animals has been classified into a wide category. So, how to understand this level of organization? We doesn't know what is level of organization. Symmetry means what, diplo means what, triplo means what, coelom means, in literally they used to say the body cavity. Segmentation means the line, the division, the body division. So that is segmentation. Okay, no problem. Notochord means a vertebral column. Okay. So what about the other organization? Don't stick on to the small understanding or small meaning of coelom or segmentation or notochord. You have to write the definition. Okay, they used to ask for 2 mark. What is coelom? Under this, few more categories are there. Based on that, animals has been differentiated. So, we'll start with the level of organization. So, what is level of organization? As I told you, animals are multicellular organisms. Do they have organs? All the animals, do all the animals have organs? Do all the animals have a proper digestive system, a proper respiratory system? No, never ever. So, some of the animals, they addicted to only few cells. Some of the animals, they synthesize themselves, they form or they are having only some tissues. And some of the animals are having some organs which is not complete. And some of the animals, they do have a complete organs. Example, we people, a complete organ system level of organization. So, based on these, the first concept is level of organization. Which animals have only cells? Which animals have only tissues, and which animals have only organs, and which animals have only organ system level of organization. So, starting with the level of organization, we will keep on telling, or we will keep on taking few examples, and we will understand what does it mean. Okay, so I'll erase this. I'll rewrite one more time when I come to this. So what I told now? I told level of organization. Just now I told cellular level of organization. The second one is under this. It has few more description. Okay. So what is that? Cellular. Second one is tissue, level of organization, and the third one is, what does it mean? What is that? Organ level of organization. And the fourth one is organ system level of organization. So we have 4 more subcategories what we are going to understand in this level of organization. If we imagine one animal, what you will imagine? Just imagine one jellyfish. Okay, so jellyfish usually find in oceanic water. And have you seen that jellyfish? It is very much transparent and umbrella like structure. Do you consider, do you imagine, or do you think, does it have any organs, or does it have any digestive system or respiratory system? No, not all those organ level of systems. All these systems are completely absent, but we used to consider that as an animal. It has to respire, it has to locomote, it has to take out all the, absorb the organic, food, and it has to excrete. How it will conduct, or how it will do all the regular activities? It do not have any systems. So those kind of animals comes under tissue level of organization. Some of the animals are there, they have only cells. Those kind of animals are example is sponges. Yes, my dear students, cellular level of organization example is sponges. It has only cells. All those cells, they are going to perform different function. Some of the cells are going to absorb the water or absorb the molecules, and some of the animals are excreting, some of the animals are conducting or regulating the ion system. So like this, number of animals like multicellular cells. So the sponges are made of only cells. It doesn't have any tissue, it doesn't have any organ or organ system level of organization. What it has only cells. With that cells, it has to lead its life. So those kind of animals comes under cellular level of organization. Don't consider, so having only cell, what it means? Yes, it has been categorized into one phylum known as Porifera. Number of other concepts are also there. So what we have to do? We have to tally whether it is going to cut into 2 equal halves, whether it is having the segmentation, whether it is having the notochord or not. If it doesn't have any notochord, which phylum, which class it should come. So what we have to do? We have to tally all the basic concepts of all the animals. One example what I have taken in the cellular level of organization is sponges. Just now I told you Aurelia, common name is jellyfish. So what does it mean? What is that? Aurelia comes under phylum Coelenterata. Okay, so phylum Coelenterata animals, they possess only tissues. Some of the cells, they grouped with one another, and they are performing different functions. So that's why we kept this phylum. What phylum? Coelenterata. I am going to write all the phylums name little bit later. So I am going to write only the examples here. Just concentrate it. So this Coelenterata phylum comes under, or this tissue level of organization. For the tissue level of organization, which example, which phylum we can give? We can give the Coelenterata. Okay, so example under Coelenterata, what I have written here? I have written one example, that is Aurelia, commonly known as jellyfish. Okay. The third one is organ level of organization. Just now I told you some of the animals, they do not have a complete system. They will have the digestive system. For example, let me write that. Let me write phylum Platyhelminthes. Platyhelminthes, for example, they have only organ level of organization. So, organ level of organization, it means what? For example, they will have the digestive system, but with only one opening. One opening means what? Through that one opening, it is going to absorb the food material. Through that one opening, it is going to excrete the waste product. What does it mean? It doesn't have a complete system. It is known as incomplete system. Okay, so only they are having organs. It's not a complete organ. We cannot call that as a complete organ. So the specialized tissues form and they produces some organs. Those organs is going to perform different function. So it means what? It means the process is known as, or that system is known as organ level of organization. In which animals we can see this type of organ level of organization? Under phylum Platyhelminthes. This is not the animal name, this is the phylum name, Platyhelminthes. Examples are flatworms, okay, or tapeworms. So the next is organ system level of organization. No doubt, by closing my eyes, I can say organ level of organization, we people comes under this category. Why? We have a complete system, a complete neural system, sensory system, and excretory, and every organs are there, and all the organs are performing different function, and it is complete. For example, in the digestive system, mouth is the one opening. Through that we used to swallow the food material, and anus is the one opening. Through that the excretory material is excreted, the waste materials are excreted. So organ system level of organization. Got it, my dear students? So if you have any doubts, just ask me. So if you come across, if you learn this basic concept, it will become very easy to categorize or to write the characteristic features of what is that 9 phylums. Okay, when I start writing the characteristic features of 9 phylum, for example, Platyhelminthes, they have organ level of organization. So they don't get confused what I am telling you. Okay, so if you learn now itself, it will become easier to catch my points. The second concept, basic concept is, let me tell you, I forgot to tell this one. Yes. Open circulatory system, closed circulatory system. So open circulatory system and closed circulatory system, this is also comes under the level of organization. After the description of complete organ level system or complete organ system level of organization and incomplete organ system level of organization, we have one more concept here to understand, and this is important. Okay, usually they used to ask in the examination to describe what is open circulatory system and what is closed circulatory system. So what you will write if they ask in the examination for open circulatory system is simple. So the blood circulatory system is nothing but the flow of blood, whatever the blood is flowing in our body from the heart is going to pump the blood. Okay, so that blood is going to circulate throughout the body, so that system is known as circulatory system. In some animals, the circulatory system is not complete. Not complete means blood is not going to flow in a closed vessels or anything else. Directly the cells and tissues are dipped in the blood. Just mark my point. Cells and tissues bath in the blood. So this type of system is known as open circulatory system. Now what does it mean? What is closed circulatory system? So here the blood is not going to bath in the blood. Instead of that, what it will do? It will flow in some vessels, arteries, veins. So we have a special creation, a special organ or a special canal system. Through that blood is going to flow and it will reach wherever it is necessary. But in some animals, open circulatory system, it means directly the cells and the tissues bath in the blood. If suppose the blood is flowing, so directly the tissues and cells are going to dip inside that blood, so that it is going to absorb the oxygenated blood and it is going to excrete the deoxygenated blood. Okay. The next one is symmetry, body symmetry. what is body symmetry? How do you understand about the symmetry? Okay, so just imagine this is one animal. Just imagine. Consider this is an ascaris. Okay, so if you want to cut this ascaris or this animal into two equal halves, how do you cut? How do you take your central axis? How do you take your axis so that this animal is going to divide into two equal halves? It means, symmetry means cutting the animal into two equal halves so that we can study all the body parts in that half part itself. So your central axis should be, your plane should be, your cutting line should be in such a way that the animal is going to take part into two equal halves. Which line, which side, from which side you will cut that animal? So that is very important. Okay, based on that, based on the symmetry, animals has been categorized into different group. Okay, so symmetry has three more subcategory or sub classification. One is asymmetry. Second one is radially symmetry. And third one is bilateral symmetry. So we have three types of symmetries over here. So what is asymmetrical or asymmetry? Asymmetry is nothing but the name itself saying asymmetry. None of the plane can cut that animal into two equal halves. So asymmetry example is sponges. Again we come to this sponge here. So earlier we used these sponges while explaining the cellular level of organization. Again it comes under asymmetry. It means the body cannot divide into two equal halves. It doesn't have a proper shape so that we cannot take part into two equal halves. So that kind of animals are known as asymmetrical organisms. Now what is radially symmetrical? Radially symmetrical means, I'm going to write the definition here. Any plane which pass through the central axis of the body, which cut into two equal halves. So it is the definition of radially symmetrical organism. Example, coelenterats, ctenophora. Coelenterata and ctenophora. Example is, this is the phylum name and this is also a phylum name. Okay, so what does it mean? Let me write the diagram here. So this is the Aurelia, animal Aurelia or jellyfish comes under Coelenterata. So what is our definition? So this is the radially symmetrical organism. Okay, so any plane which pass through the central axis, consider this is the central axis. Any plane, either you are going to cut the animal from this plane or from this plane or from this plane, any plane or any axis going to or pass through the central axis of the body which cut into two equal halves. So it means what? It means the animal comes under radially symmetrical organism. Any plane means any of the plane. Any plane means not a single plane. Don't consider like that. Any plane, any of the plane, are right whether this plane or this plane or this plane, any of the plane. Plane means the like the cutting part which pass through the central axis of the body, which cut into two equal halves. It is known as radially symmetrical. Now we observe the Coelenterata organism. Now what does it mean? Means which animal comes under Ctenophora? Phylum Ctenophora include one animal known as Pleurobrachia. It has a long tentacle or two tentacles, and this will be found in oceanic water. So this animal also, it possesses it is known as radially symmetrical animal. Any of the plane which is passing through the central axis will cut the body into two equal halves. It is known as radially symmetrical organism. Radially symmetrical. Now going to the next concept, that is bilateral symmetry. Bilaterally symmetrical or bilateral symmetry, whatever you can. The body can cut into two equal halves. The body can cut into two equal halves only from the central, only from one axis. The body can cut into two equal halves in only one plane. One plane means what? Let me write the example. Examples are, again we came to the Platyhelminthes, Aschelminthes. So Platyhelminthes and Aschelminthes, these are the two phylum names. Okay, so these phylum names, whatever the animals are coming under this phylum, they have the bilaterally symmetrical body. Only one plane can cut the body into two equal halves. Which plane it is? Consider this is the animal. Just consider this is the Ascaris. Okay. So this ascaris, if we want to take the two equal halves of this ascaris, what we should do, if I take the division from this plane, can I get the two equal halves? Two equal halves means, so at the central position, if I take the cut no dot, I'll get the two equal halves. But I cannot read the internal structure, a complete internal structure of this organism. Why so? So here at the anterior position and posterior position, number of systems are there, organ systems will be there. So if I want to study, if I want to read out all the internal parts of this ascaris, what I should do, I should take the equal halves, I should cut the animal so that I'll get the two equal halves. Which plane it should be? It should be one plane. Only one plane can cut the animal into two equal halves. Only one plane. So it means that example is Platyhelminthes and Aschelminthes phylum organisms. Okay. So we'll continue in the next class. Thank you.